In life, we all aspire to be like someone. We create images in our head when we are young of what we want to be when we are older. Whether it is being a teacher, doctor, carpenter, or professional footballer, minus the HGH supplements. For me, I've always wanted to be a politician. Funny career dream for a teenager, but hey, someone has to do it. The leaders of the past decade have taught me what to do and what not to do when being in a position of leadership and making decisions on behalf of a group of people. While the day in the life of a politician may seem uninteresting, answering calls you probably don't want to answer, attending public events you probably don't want to attend, or interacting with other politicians you probably don't want to interact with, there's reasons why it appeals to me. I'm inspired by our current leaders, by the instrumental workload they carry and the pressure they are able to complete it under. To lead a country is one task, but the extent in which you are able to lead it to is another. Although I was not around during his era, the legacy Sir Robert Menzies left on the nation has changed the way it is run today. To be the Prime Minister of Australia for 18 years is extraordinary, something that is unheard of today. For him to have done this meant that he must have attained the acceptance and popularity of the majority of Australians for this period of time. Many would have seen Sir Menzies as an inspiration to themselves. He displayed many of the characteristics a leader should: a ready wit, a clear and analytical mind, and a superb commander of language. But for me, the most inspiring quality Sir Menzies had was the ability to come back more determined and passionate than ever after his first term. During his second term, he dominated Australian politics as no one else had ever done. He managed to live down the failures of his first term in office and to rebuild politics like no other could. Perhaps Australia's current leaders were so influenced by his actions, they decided to take up the profession themselves. Another leader who I see as a positive role model to many is Prime Minister Julia Gillard. Now, Julia may not be the greatest Prime Minister we've ever seen, but for her to conduct herself in public and perform the way she does has to take some admiration. People must understand that the population is growing, and Prime Minister Gillard has to appeal to 23 million people in an ever-changing society, as opposed to someone like Sir Menzies, who only had to lead a nation of 7 million. Perhaps what is not shown in most media stories is the fact that Miss Gillard is always willing to put the country before her own reputation. The most important role of a leader is to be able to put others before yourself. The success of your leadership is measured by the results of those you lead. Today's politicians are my role models, as they are in the exact position I would like to be in the future. Why else would anyone want to aspire to be something when they are older if they have no one to look up to? From the words of Napoleon, an army of lions commanded by a deer will never be an army of lions. Almost everyone has a role model. Again, they could be a parent, a friend, a teacher, or a sports hero. A role model is hard to define because it can be different for everyone. Who your role model is depends as much on you as it does on the person you admire. Often it is someone you would like to be when you are older, or someone who does something you find hard to do. They might be somebody who performs outstanding volunteer work. They might be a community leader. It might be your mentor. Maybe they are generous and kind. Maybe they performed an extraordinary feat or accomplishment. They might be someone in your neighbourhood or someone in another country. Maybe they could be someone in this room right now. Typically, a role model is brave, smart, strong, kind, thoughtful, and fun. Not every role model is perfect. Unless it is someone out of a storybook, role models are people who might be outstanding in only one or two areas. Or maybe it is someone who is far less than perfect, but is working to improve themselves. As a cricket lover, a role model of mine when I was younger was Shane Warne. Now, I did not look up to Warney for the smoking, drinking, texting, or gambling qualities that make up the great Australian larrikin he is, but for the 708 incredible test wickets he took. A role model should not just be determined on how they are perceived by the morality police of the public, what they are able to do, and the influence they are able to make in their job and to their fans. Perhaps your role model might not be someone famous. Perhaps it could be someone in your own house. Our parents are those who raise us to be the people we are today. Yet when people are often asked who their role models are, parents are often overlooked. While they may get on our nerves at times, they are still the same people who give anything for us. And if that's not inspiring enough, then I don't know what is. Faced with ongoing difficulty and somewhat unbearable conflict, Nelson Mandela was able to lead a nation of almost 40 million people. Each morning, my mum gets up at an extraordinary early time to wake 3 tired kids up and get them ready for school. Pretty damn good, I'll say. Thank you.